I'm going to do a poem called Scar. On my right hand, I have a scar, which I forget from time to time. I call it the snake because if you cross my palm with silver, it hisses, and you should never stare too long. It was in Linton that I ran towards the ice cream of original sin. Tripped over the milk bottle of God's command, lost my innocence to a hospital visit when I was 4. I was under fire before we crossed to Ulster, and the troubles all kicked off before my grandmother's shortbread and my first encounter with a tank. In Linton, I have one recollection, a bowl, those old, thin plastic types, where the colour drained into scratch marks. My blood, as I recall, not red like a bus, but scarlet, like Judas's. According to my wife, a tale I never heard, my father took me to the hospital without my mother knowing, so she turned up keyless at the corner shop while I was stitched in a shadowy waiting room. It was a lot like that on holidays. On Brittas Beach in the Dublin Pale, a thorn, an inch perhaps, lodged in my soul. Up in Newcastle, my father made me put my foot up, pushed the flesh in until he could wrench the bugger out. And how I screamed. You'd have screamed too, like you'd been waiting for your saviour. For I was almost redeemed by them. People had been asking if I'd come to the Lord. It's good to please. So I stood up and testified, and they prayed for me, and everyone was happy, and I was hardly troubled, hardly a fraud, hardly believing in the lie that was my virtue. Now, when God and serpent both seem unimportant, I turn to the scar. It's 50 years old now, and more. I no longer faint at blood, no longer faint at needles or sharp knives. Yet when I say a word awry, it's like that first falling over, like my reflection in a bucket of blood. No stigmata, you see this scar, but a snake healed over, cold remnant, to be marvelled at during my post-mortem